Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's doing fine today.
Hey, Judge.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Let's see. Good afternoon, Ms. Bridgewater. Do we have a SAP reset date?
Yes, sir. It's going to be June the 23rd.
All right, thank you. And I know it's a little before 2, but if everyone's ready, I am ready to go. Let's see. We're going to start with courtroom 3 this afternoon.
Yes, Judge. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine, Sergeant. Who do we have?
Your Honor, I don't see Mike McLean on.
Oh.
And is Mr. McLean?
I sent him the link. He called me. I just sent him the link. He's getting ready to log in.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Johnson is Ms. Hoagie's client, so we can go ahead and start with position number 7.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Hoag. How are you?
Let me get off mute. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Johnson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson, you've been charged in case 22CR003693H with battery. Who do we have on from pretrial today?
It's me. What number we on, Judge?
Hey, Mr. Howard. We're on position 7, Ms. Johnson.
I sent you the email.
Oh, okay, thank you.
This is our 4th arrest. Last was December 2021 for trespass, criminal damage to property, 2nd degree, 2 counts, obstruction. That's open, Superior Court, 22 SC 181 800. (2018) suspended license NOLO, 2019 probation violation for the suspended license. That's it.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Reiser. How are you?
I'm good, Judge. How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing well. I take it this is your case?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, you can proceed.
Thank you, Judge. The state's recommendation for Ms. Johnson, her bond is currently set at a $5,000 surety. The state would request that it does stay as set, just with the added conditions of no further contact with the victim, Malaysia Johnson, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is based on the facts of the case that Ms. Johnson was at the 6060 Old National Highway, which is a Dunkin' Donuts. The defendant, who was an employee there, told her she was not allowed to be there and pushed her out of the door. A physical altercation ensued where the defendant hit Ms. Johnson, the victim, in the face, leaving a visible injury over her eye that was observed by officers, Your Honor.
Oh,
yes, thank you. I'm sorry, there was a delay here. Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Johnson is 22 years old, Your Honor. She's a lifetime resident of Georgia. She has significant family ties here as well. And she has a high school degree from Langston Hughes and has been working at Dunkin' Donuts for over 5 years consistently right now. She also has consistent employment. This incident, while is in fact where the woman came in, she was refusing to leave. She was not supposed to be there. They were trying to get her out, and yes, an altercation did occur, Your Honor, but it wasn't just necessarily started by Ms. Johnson. I do believe that while always a signature bond is nice, Your Honor, I do believe just simply a $2,000 surety bond would be more than sufficient to ensure that she does show up for court at this time.
okay, it'll be a $2,000 good bond, no further contact with Elisa Johnson, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Johnson.
Judge, position number 12 is next, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Roulier. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Ma'am?
Yes.
Did you hear what I asked you?
Yes.
Okay, and you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
You've been charged in case 22 CR 003697G with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
We on good.
Position 12.
Hold on. Ruler. It's the third arrest. Last was 2021, driving without a valid license. 2018, she was arrested for felony obstruction, felony theft by receiving. I don't know the disposition to that case. That's all I have.
Good afternoon. Is this Ms. Satellite?
Yes, Your Honor. That is my case, Your Honor. I apologize.
That's fine.
And let me see. The state would ask that she stay away from 1000 Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell. That's Roswell Creek Apartments. The state would ask for a $2,000 straight bond, according to the report. Ask to stay away and return back to the location. Nothing further from the state at this time.
Okay. And who? Mr. McLean, good afternoon. Is this your case?
This is Miss Cintron, I believe it looks like her.
No, this is Miss Roulier.
Okay, that's, yeah, Cintron Roulier, right. I recognize her from the photograph.
I have Alexandra Roulier on my calendar.
Right, Alexandra Cintron Roulier. I represent her, and I'd like to ask the court to consider a signature bond because this was a situation where another person was supposed to stay away from the apartment complex in general, but she was given permission to go to a particular building, although she was warned not to go to another building. And I don't know what the communication gap was, but she ended up going to what she believed she had authority to do and got arrested anyway. Now, she had formerly worked at the Pure Restaurant. She now works at a call center near North Point Mall. They do survey work as call center people. She went to Alpharetta Elementary. She went to Northwestern Middle School. She went to Milton High School. She's still working on her GED. And if the court could give her a signature bond, she sounds like a pretty safe bet overall.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from Roswell Creek Apartments. Let's just make that all of Roswell Creek Apartments so that there's no misunderstanding. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Courtroom 2, Officer Norris. We got position number 4, Mr. Brad Davis.
Afternoon, Officer Norris. Hope you're well.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Davis. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. You've been charged in case 22 CR 003700A with certain acts prohibited on a bus, rail station, and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
10 total. He got a history out of California and Texas. Last arrest was back in May for criminal trespass. He's on probation in Gwinnett County for ag assault. In 2019, they gave him 5 years to serve, 15 years probation. He was arrested also in April and failed to appear for a charge in state court. You don't like for me to call it out, so I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
He had a robbery that was dismissed from Texas, ag assault and deadly weapon conviction, Texas. A criminal trespass conviction, 2014 out of Texas. 2013, he was convicted for a charge that was similar to the one I'll put in the chat. That's all. Hold on, let me find this California.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Ms.
sir.
Lynn?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is going to request a 3,000 straight bond on each charge due to him being arrested less than a month ago for criminal trespass on Marta. And he's currently on felony probation out of Gwinnett. The state would argue that there's a likelihood that he would commit another crime while on probation. And he also had a recent FTA. So he poses a significant risk of failing to appear for court. Nothing further from the state at this time, Your Honor. And we also ask that he can stay away from Marta like he's been told to do so before.
Okay, there's a Marta suspension in place, I take it?
Yes, Your Honor. It was effective. It's a permanent ban, actually, effective September 16th.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, he tells me that although he's aware of the ban, that he was supposed to go to a particular place and ask to have the ban lifted. So I've advised him that he needs to do that entirely by phone unless they can send him a writing that he can have in his hand that he's allowed to go to somewhere to appeal his ban. He totally understands the reason of why it is a large ban, a permanent ban, and so I hope he's successful and wish him luck on that. I we don't gainsay the fact. I mean, he does know that he's got a significant record. On the Gwinnett sheriff hold that he has, that is the probation matter in Gwinnett County on that case, and he is in pretty good stead with his probation officer. He believes that the probation officer is going to work with him and that the judge will work with him and that he won't have to spend significant time in Gwinnett once he gets there. They have a good relationship, he says. Due to the nature of the offense, because this time the behavior was simply the trespass itself and the open beer can, we would ask the court to consider a signature bond for this. It will send him straight to Gwinnett and he'll deal with that matter there. Now, as far as his background, 10th grade, working on his GED. He has friends in Norcross that can give him rides back and forth. So he's got various jobs in the Norcross area, the Norcross and Lilburn area that are available to him to work. So that really means that in the long run, if he stays around there and gets rides from friends to go to his jobs, he won't need to use MARTA.
Okay, it's gonna be a $500 good bond per charge, which makes it a total of $1,000 good bond. Stay away from MARTA. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Davis.
All right. Next, we have position number 1, Mr. Bodie. Position number 1.
Odie's mom is on.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bodie. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Bodie, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003691J with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is first adult arrest. You want the juvie history?
No, that's fine. Thank you.
We got a juvenile justice hold too.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Salette?
One moment, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I only had the warrant previously, and I just received the report. Would you give me a kind of just scan over the report really quickly?
Okay, you just want to read it?
Yes. Your Honor, I just wanted to just check on the injuries, if there were any substantial injuries or anything like that. So the state, I mean, is there any, are you able to see Mr., or I'm not sure, quite sure what your last name is, but from pretrial, how long he's going to be in juvenile?
Nah, they gotta come get him.
Because this incident happened while he was in detention, I believe.
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Your Honor, the state would ask for a $2,500 straight bond on this charge due to it being a violent charge. He's already in custody for some other previous charges, obviously, and to stay away from the victim, Brandon Wade.
Can you tell me what the facts are, please? Ms. Lynn?
Yes, Your Honor. One moment. It looks like while in custody, the defendant got into a physical altercation with another inmate, Mr. Brandon Wade. There doesn't really seem to be any facts about who was the primary aggressor. They just note what appeared on the video, the surveillance video of the incident. They noted that he punched the victim several times.
Thank you. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, because it is a simple battery, the affidavit for arrest, has about 3 lines of boilerplate in which they have to put the date and the time and the address and the charge, but it's a one-liner when it comes to in that said accused caused physical harm to Brandon Wade by punching Brandon Wade several times in the face with closed fists. And then they charge it a simple battery, so I hope that means that literally there were no visible marks, and that would be the appropriate charge for what they were watching. We were able to receive about 5 or 6 or 7 pages worth of reports in which they describe that at this location, which is the YDC on Stonewall Tail Road, isn't that the former Larmore Detention Center property? At any rate, they watch the video, they see the fight between all these kids, and his mom is on the Zoom with us. She happens by coincidence to be in law enforcement herself. Both Mr. Bodie himself and his mom assure me that they have been in communication with DJJ and that he's going to have to do time. And therefore, that's why we're asking the court to consider giving him a signature bond, because this arose from the DJJ he was in, the DJJ property he was at. Everybody's discussed this. They pretty much know what the result's going to be. And if we give him a signature bond, that sends him right into DJJ custody directly, and he deals with it. Now, I told him that because it sounds like he's actually going to still be in Fulton County, although I can't promise that, there are other DJJ properties throughout the state, that if he will use the intrastate detainer letter, simultaneously write a letter to the prosecuting office and the warden or chief jailer or whatever we call it at DJJ, the person who's holding him in custody, if he does the simultaneous letter under the intrastate detainer section of the Georgia Code, then he will not miss court. It won't be untimely. He won't have to do what they call, quote, dead time, unquote. It'll be great. So that's why we'd ask the court to consider a signature bond, because they've kind of figured this out. Ms. Bodie, are you there?
How old is he, Mr. McLean?
He is 18. And his mom is she's on as Bodie mom, but I don't see a photograph yet. I don't see her. Ms. Bodie mom, can you get on Zoom with us and click in?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Bodie. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anything more that you want to add as to what Mr. McLean is telling the court?
Yes, sir. My son was given a 4-year sentence. He has only 1 year remaining in DJJ custody. So if given the signature bond, he's going to go straight back to DJJ. He's not set for release until June of next year. So he will be in custody.
Okay, I'm going to give him a signature bond, $1,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Brandon Wade, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
Your Honor.
You're welcome, Ms. Bodie. Good luck to you. Good luck to you also, Mr. Bodie. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 2, Mr. Bondimitri.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bondimitri. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon. You've been charged in case 22 CR 003692E with terroristic threats and simple assault. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Just give me the name, please. Oh, the one started B?
Yeah, number 2.
Okay, yeah. All right, you got 15 total. Let me put this charge in the chat for you real quick.
You have 2 unheard messages. First,
All right, you got 15 total. You got history out of Florida. Last arrest was June 8th out of Cobb County, simple assault, 2 counts, 1 count obstruction, 2 counts of misdemeanor terroristic threats. Before that was June 2021 hit and run, June 2021 felony terroristic threats. That's open at Superior Court, 21 CP 200-382. State, do you see the Florida history?
I did.
You saw the 02 conviction?
There were several different ones. The conviction I saw was from 2006.
Hold on. Okay. So just it's 02, it's like it goes from 02 to 06, but it's that conviction though. So he got an open case in Cobb County, Fulton County. He got a battery conviction as well out of Florida from 02. I think that's all.
Thank you. Ms. Select?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is going to ask for a $10,000 straight bond on the terroristic threats and to stay away from 1204 Garden Lake Drive, Riverdale, Georgia. It's a meat plant. That's where the incident occurred. As pretrial stated, he does have another felony terroristic threats that it hasn't been indicted yet. But similar facts in that case, Your Honor, where he threatened to kill another coworker. Based on his history and his continuing to make these threats, the state would argue that that's a reasonable bond. Nothing further from the state.
Can you give me a bit about the simple assault, please?
You mean the one that's in Superior Court?
No, the ones that we're here for that I need to decide on the bond in regard to.
Yes, so he never hands on anyone. They are basically making threats to coworkers that he would shoot them, kill them, calling them snitch, things of that nature, being aggressive towards female coworker.
Okay.
Carla Robinson is the victim in this case.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, we would ask the court to consider something in the neighborhood of a $2,000 good bond. We recognize the problems that he has with the bond factors. However, when you look at the situation, the simple assault language is essentially the same as the terroristic threats misdemeanor language. It's the same act. It's said to cause fear and apprehension in a person, and it is basically the same exact sentence behavior alleged on the terroristic threats. If the state would agree, that's an accurate statement. He grew up in Florida. He's been working at T-Force near the Six Flags area in a medical warehouse. They take special orders and they do UPS stuff. He said, you know, he's basically learning how to, when people criticize, shut up and not talk trash. So we would ask the court to consider that he's got a job now, and he will come to court when he needs to come to court.
All right, it's going to be a $2,500 good bond per charge, which makes it a total of a $5,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Robinson. Stay away from 1204 Garden Lake Drive. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck, sir.
Next, we have position number 3, Mr. Anthony Boyd.
Good afternoon, Mr. Boyd. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Boyd. You've been charged in case 22 CR 003695D with theft by shoplifting and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First arrest. He went to felony first appearance earlier for the criminal damage to property, second degree.
Do we know what bond he received?
They gave him a UJR with wraparound services. I'm not sure why, but
Okay,
that's
thank
what I
you.
was told.
Ms. Salette? Is this your case, Ms. Salette? Hi, good afternoon, Ms. McCutcheon.
Good afternoon, Judge. I was trying to get to Ms. Salette. It seems as if she is frozen.
Right.
And I wanted to inquire of her as to whether or not this charge is related to the criminal damage that Mr. Howard just mentions on the felony first appearance. Judge, what position on the calendar is this again?
Position number 3.
Okay, that should be Ms. Salette's, but it looks like she is in fact frozen, Judge. I'll have to look the case up really quickly, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
I may be able to provide some information about the dates.
Thank you, Mr. McLean.
The criminal damage to property in the second degree felony is because the damage that was alleged against him on December 14th, this past December, was he was alleged, he and let's see, 1, 2, there were 3 people. I assume they're all young. They were alleged on December 14th to use their legs to kick and push a cement bollard, B-O-L-L-A-R-D. And I had to look up, what is a bollard? It is a substantial piece of metal or cement which keeps vehicles from smashing into public buildings. We all know what they look like. So these 3 kids, I assume they're all the same age, are pushing with their legs because maybe the bollard's already loose and they're just messing with it. I don't know. But they push it enough to where it actually breaks off or falls off its pedestal or whatever, and it's a cylinder of cement. Now, how big it is, what the dimensions are, I don't know, but any cylinder of cement that's meant to prevent vehicular movement is going to be substantial. So, of course, it's a cylinder and it starts rolling. It rolls into somebody's rental car. So the owner of the vehicle is Enterprise, and that causes damage. It dented that car. So that's why he's got the felony, which is over $500. Part and parcel of the same event on December 14th was the affidavit for arrest that was from the same police officer, Officer Lawrence, which is Alpharetta PD. And that was a trespass at the property of Avalon. What is Avalon?
Which is the same location, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Today.
So that's why that's why the felony case is attached to a misdemeanor charge, and that's December 14th. But what we're really dealing with also is an incident that happened in Roswell Police, an Alpharetta Highway address, but Roswell Police instead of Alpharetta Police. And this time, it's a fairly straightforward allegation like this. He goes into what decades ago would have been called a head shop where they have hookahs and whatnot. These days, they're called vape shops and they have hookahs and vape material. And so he's said to have put on the counter 3 items that cost about $60, $70, $80 a piece. And he's hanging around, 3 items are on the counter. He says he's going to buy them as soon as a friend shows up, according to the allegation. And at some point, he decides to grab them and bolt and sprint for the door, at which time he is alleged to have knocked into a glass case and damaged some items in the glass case and the glass case itself, missing a $500 break point between felony and misdemeanor by $4, because the glass case and the items that were broken, they are things like hookahs. They're made out of glass and they broke. So that's $497 or $495.77 rather. So that is the trespass, I believe. That's the shoplifting charge simultaneously with the slightly less than the misdemeanor level damage thing. So what I'd like to say about Mr. Well, let's see. We were just clarifying some facts. So let the state go ahead. And then I've got somebody on Zoom who can speak for him about employment.
And thank you, Mr. McLean, for that comprehensive explanation. I did look at the warrants, and that seems to be, Judge, I'll state my place, that seems to be what the warrants are indicating. Thank you, Mr. McLean. Judge, and I'll have to get with the district attorney on Monday because it looks like perhaps one of these charges should really be with the felony. It looks like the June incident is the only one that should be related to this case. But if I'm looking at this correctly on this accusation, it looks like we've charged incident dates from December 14th and June 5th, the theft by shoplifting being June 5th, and then we've charged a criminal trespass from December 14th, when really both of these incidents should be the June 5th, 2022. Am I correct in that assessment, Mr. McLean?
That's right. I didn't mention the June 5th, but the June 5th was just a week ago or a few days ago. And that's why we're dealing with that, all that glass breakage that thank goodness was under $500.
Right. And Mr. Howard, can I just ask you respectfully, what was the felony warrant? You said it was a wraparound warrant. Is that similar to a signature warrant? Signature bond, I'm sorry, signature bond?
Yeah, they gave him wraparound services.
Okay. Judge, I'm just looking, and I apologize, Your Honor, I was multitasking. I didn't hear Mr. Howard's review of the criminal history. It looks like he has 2 cycles. So apparently these are his first arrests then. I would ask, Your Honor, that the court give the defendant a $2,500 bond. Is he eligible for release through pretrial, Mr. Howard?
You would need a co-signer.
Well, absent that, then Judge, we'd ask for $2,500 good bond.
Does he have a co-signer, Mr. McLean?
Well, to cut to the chase, I talked to his mom. I think she would. Also, Terrence Chandler is on the Zoom with us, and he is the mom's boyfriend, and he is his employer. He works at Texas Roadhouse as a dishwasher on exit 14 of Georgia 400, making about $15 an hour. And Terrence Chandler, I think, is on Zoom with us and can confirm all that. And I said, you know, parents being on Zoom is great, but when you have an employer saying, give me this person so I can put them back in there washing those dishes and making money and paying taxes, that's even better.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chandler. If you'd like to address the court, I'm happy to hear from you. I'll have to have you unmute yourself and I'll have to swear you in, okay? Mr. Chandler, can you hear me?
You have to unmute.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is TJ Franson. I'm Anthony Boyd's boss with Texas Roadhouse.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down. I'm sorry, I missed your name, sir. Can you tell me your name again?
My name is TJ Franson. Last name is Frantzen.
And what would you like to tell the court?
Just pretty much what the state or what the attorney said. You know, he's one of my employees. He works full time for me. Current rate of pay is 15 an hour, and I need him. I need him to come back to work. I'm struggling as it is finding employees, and I could really use his help. So
He's a good employee for you?
he's a great employee.
Has it
Keeps his
cost
head down at work and does his job, and that's all I need.
Okay, and I take it that you're over 25, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm 30 years old.
And you would sign him out if need be?
If need be, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
If nothing further, it's going to be a $1,000 signature bond on each charge, which makes it a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial with a co-signer of Mr. Franson. Stay away from, do we have the stay away location?
Do you have that up, Ms. Salette? If not, I can pull it up very quickly.
Yes,
Your Honor, I would say
Your
stay
Honor.
away from the smoke. I believe one of the locations was the smoke shop, but let's look at the exact address on
It's
that.
called something like Rising Cloud, some name like that, wasn't it?
Yes, Rising Cloud Vape. The address is 11235 Alpharetta Highway, Roswell. And then I believe the other one is from the Avalon.
400 Avalon Boulevard in Alpharetta. And that's the charge, Judge, that I believe I'll speak with the district attorney on Monday. That charge should go with the felony case, it appears.
All right, very good. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right.
What's the co-signer's name?
TJFRANTZEN.
F-R-A-N.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. My first name is actually Timothy. I just want, my initials are TJ. But my first name is Timothy. Last name is FRANTZEN.
And you're apparently borrowing Mr. Chandler's phone because he was on, we saw him first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You waiving the utility bill, I assume.
Yes, that's fine, Mr. Howard.
Tell the co-signer to stand by and I'll send him the information with a co-signer, please.
All right, did you hear that, Mr. Franzen?
Said stand by and you'll send over the information for the co-signer?
Yeah, it'll be in the chat.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right, thank you. Good luck to you, Mr. Boyd. Who do we have next?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
By the way, you can send something by email through terrence.chandler86@gmail.com. They're in the same room together. TERRENCE.Chandler, TerrenceChandler86@gmail. And Mr. Franson will get it, I'm sure.
Next, we have position number 5, Mr. Funches.
Good afternoon, Mr. Funches. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. You agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 003701B with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yes, 6 total. Last arrest was back in December in Cobb County for a failure to appear. On probation, 21 SC 177520 for aggravated assault. They gave him 5 years, 6 months for that back in December. Got a battery conviction, 2019 Cobb County, 2018 battery DV conviction out of Gwinnett. That's it.
Yes, Your Honor. The state is asking for a $5,000 straight bond on this charge due to the defendant's history, him being on probation, several prior violent convictions. In reference to this case, it says that he knew the victim for about 2 weeks and near Peachtree Hills Avenue and Lindbergh Drive. A witness saw, and the victim has stated that the defendant grabbed her by her hair, pushed her multiple times into the bushes. So nothing further from the state, Your Honor, at this time.
What's the victim's name? Alleged victim?
Jessica Dodd, D-O-D-D.
Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor. He works at Zesto's on Lindbergh, and he has been there for a month. The job is still available to him, even though he's locked up right now. He also has a part-time job after he leaves Zesto's. He goes and sweeps up at a barber shop. He figures he can afford about $100 a week to spare somehow to pay somebody on, I explained to him, we don't really do per week when it comes to bonds. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond because thank goodness it's only a quote, and Your Honor knows what I'm saying. At least it's a simple battery instead of something that is alleged to be visible and would be worse. So there is that. But considering the nature of the charges, he says he has a defense and he will explain himself in court as to what was going on. He believes he says he was defending himself, and because of the jobs that he has, he asked the court to consider a signature bond or a very low bond, such as something like 1,000 surety or 1,500 surety.
All right, it's going to be a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with Ms. Dodd, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Funges.
Your Honor, this is position number 6. I'm gonna put it on mute.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Isabel. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Okay, he's indicating yes. Mr. Isabora, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003702F with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First arrest.
All right, Ms. Salette?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is going to ask for a $2,000 straight bond on this charge. The defendant, according to the warrant, was terminated from his job at UPS on June 6th. He was told at that time not to return back to the location. He returned back to the location on June 9th, and officers were called out. He told the officers that he was leaving, and he still didn't leave at that time, even after the officers told him to leave. The state would ask for a $2,000 bond to stay away from 1 Sandy Creek Road, Atlanta, Georgia, and that's a UPS location, Your Honor.
Given his history, Mr. McLean, I'm going to give him a signature bond, a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Sandy Creek Road address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
But I had a great argument, Your Honor, but yes, it does.
Okay, very good. Good luck to you, Mr. Isabor.
Your Honor, next we have position number 8, Mr. Lyons.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lyons. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have it heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Lyons, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003694G with simple battery and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
Ms. Reiser?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation for bond on the simple battery family violence would be a $4,000 surety bond. On the simple battery, the state's recommendation would be a $1,000 surety bond for a total of $5,000 surety, Your Honor, with no further contact with the victim, Kiera Kimmons, and stay away from 8800 Dunwoody Place, Sandy Springs, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. Briefly for the facts, Your Honor, officers were called out to the incident location. They spoke with the victim, who indicated to officers that she had broken up with her boyfriend, the defendant, and gave him an opportunity to move out. She came home and discovered he was not moved out. A verbal altercation ensued where the defendant pushed the victim twice into 2 different bedroom walls and pushed her on the face. When she attempted to call 911, he fled the scene, Your Honor. And based on that, we would recommend the bond as recommended, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Hoag.
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, I thought I couldn't quite hear, but it sounded like he doesn't have a criminal history. Is that correct?
That's what I heard.
Okay, thank you. It's sometimes a little hard to hear. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lynn is 23 years old. He has a high school degree as well as a certificate from the Hutchinson Academy in banking and finance. He just started a new job, ready to move, where he's been there 3 days. He has a brother here as well, so he has family ties. And then to give you a little bit update on this incident, Your Honor, this incident that they're referring to happened on December 14th of last year. This is over 6 months now. He and Miss Kimmons have also now reunited, and they've been staying together and living together now, and they're expecting their first child. She is on the phone on here to let you know what you like. So if you want to hear from her, you certainly can. But given that they've now been together and they're expecting their first child, and this happened over 6 months ago, and whatever happened, this appears to have been now resolved, and they seem to have the situation resolved. We do believe a signature bond is warranted in this case, given the lack of history, given that they're together. This seems to be an isolated incident, and he does have ties here as well with a brother and a job.
Thank you. Ms. Kimmons, if you'd like to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself and I'll have to swear you in.
Yes, Judge, I'm here.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? You swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I was made aware earlier that there was nothing being charged as far as the family violence. So I wasn't made aware of that charge, but I did inform an officer that I wanted to drop those charges, which he did let me know that that would be up to the judge. The story, it seems as if it was misconstrued. I don't know if that was what the officer wrote down as a statement, but that's not what happened. And I also did speak to someone earlier, and there was I did let them know I did want contacted with him. There was no contact order, basically.
Okay, have you had contact since December 14th last
Yes,
year?
sir. We've been living together, yes, sir.
Okay, and this, you're not afraid of him?
No, sir.
And this hasn't happened again?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, I appreciate it. It's gonna be a
No problem.
It's gonna be a $2,000 signature bond on each charge, which makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Kiera Kimmons, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Lyons. You also, Ms. Kimmons.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, Your Honor, you got position number 9, Mr. Maddox, position number 9.
Good afternoon, Mr. Maddox. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Mr. Maddox, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003703C with a windshield, or wiper violation, fleeing or attempting to elude police, failure to obey a traffic signal, improper turn, and reckless driving. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This third arrest. He was arrested January 2017, September 2017, out of Bullock County for sale of marijuana. He's on probation for both of those cases. One case, he got 5 years, so that will time out in September. Another case will time out in 2027. He went to felony earlier. 7,500 good bond for those charges. That's it.
Ms. Reiser?
Yes, Judge. I believe his bond is set for the window tint violation. I'm showing a $2,500 surety. For fleeing and eluding, I'm showing a $2,500 surety. For failure to obey a traffic light, $2,500 surety. For improper turn, a $2,500 surety. And for reckless driving, a $2,500 surety. I believe that's a total of $12,500, Your Honor. The state would ask that that remain as set. Briefly of the facts, the officers made a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle for a window tint violation. Officers informed him to turn the car off. The defendant then later did turn it off initially, but turned it back on and fled the scene. Another officer witnessed the defendant's car driving recklessly through the streets, running through multiple red lights and making an improper left turn. Your Honor, I believe what he was arrested for the felony case he had today were for similar charges. I believe that was also a fleeing and eluding and maybe an obstruction. So we do believe he is poses a significant risk or danger to the community and does have a bit of a history as on current probation, Your Honor. So we would ask that the bond remain as set.
Ms. Hoag?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Maddox is 25 years old, Your Honor. He has his GED from Georgia Perimeter as well as an AA for General Studies from East Georgia State, Your Honor, 3 to 4 years ago. He currently works as a PR person for his sister, who is a music attorney, and he has significant family ties here, Your Honor. He has a sister, mother, grandmother. He's been here all of his life. And while he has convictions, Your Honor, they are drug-related, not violence-related, and they are going back 5 years. And it does appear, with the exception of this incident, that he has been doing fine on probation. I'm not hearing of FTAs. I'm not hearing probation violations. I'm not hearing anything of that nature. And while I do agree that there was traffic violations here, Your Honor, they are traffic violations. And so I do believe that a $12,500 bond on 5 traffic violations is a bit steep, Your Honor. While I'm not suggesting, he would love to get a signature bond, I would love to get him a signature bond, but I do believe anything like such as, anywhere from $500 on the improper turn and the failure to obey a traffic signal and possibly $1,000 on the other 3 is more than ample to assure his appearance at court and to cover everything else. As you know, he only got $7,500 on the felony case, and they're wanting more on this case, which is 3 months old or better at this point.
All right, it's going to be a split bond for the fleeing or attempting to elude, $1,000 good bond for the reckless driving, a $1,000 good bond, which for those 2 is going to be a $2,000 good bond. For the other 3 violations, the window violation, the traffic light, and the improper turn, they're all going to be $500 signature bonds through the jail, which makes for a total of $1,500 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Maddox.
Your Honor, what was the bond amount? I'm sorry.
That's fine. For the fleeing and attempting to elude and the reckless driving, they're both $1,000 good bonds. For the other 3 charges, they are all $500 signature bonds through the jail.
Thank you.
Okay, you got that?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Next, we have position number 10, Mr. Mboob.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mboob. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 003696F with 3 counts of theft by taking. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First arrest for Mboob.
Okay. Ms. Raja?
Yes, Your Honor. As to one of the counts of theft by taking, his bond is currently set at a $1,500 surety. As to the second 2 counts, the state would ask for a $1,500 surety on each of those, and to stay away from the Home Depot at 650 Ponce de Leon Avenue. Judge, each one of these counts represents 3 separate incidents. So the first count happened on May 18th, 2022, where the defendant he was an employee at the location and attempted to do an exchange or a return. And at that point, it's alleged that he took $105.93. As to the second count, which occurred on June 5th, 2022, the defendant took $195.10. And as to the third count that occurred on June 9th, 2022, he took $177.94. This all, for each incident, this was recorded on surveillance, and the Home Depot managers do have that surveillance and the receipts for the money that he had taken, Your Honor. Nothing further at this time.
Okay, given that this is his first arrest, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail on each count, which makes it a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Home Depot on Ponce de Leon Avenue, $650, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Hogue?
It does, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Who do we have next?
That was a signature bond, right, Your Honor?
That's correct, yes, through the jail.
All right, thank you. Next is going to be position number 11, Mr. Reed.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Reed. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Reed, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003704Y with a handicap parking violation, simple battery, family violence, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6 total. Last arrest was 2020, suspended license. 2019, hit and run. 2018, suspended license, no load. Another 2018, suspended license, conviction. 2017, simple battery, simple assault, and a regular battery. Those were dismissed.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Reiser?
Yes, Your Honor. As to the simple battery, family violence, the state would recommend a $3,500 surety. As to the handicap violation, a $500 surety, and possession under an ounce would be a $1,000 surety for a total of $5,000. To have no further contact with the victim, Tammy Reed, and stay away from the incident location of 100 West Broad Street. It's a Family Dollar location, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Your Honor, the officers responded to the Family Dollar. The victim, Miss Reed, explained to them that they got into a verbal argument out by the car, and the defendant pushed Miss Reed and grabbed her by the arm. There was also an eyewitness to this incident, Ms. Wooten, who confirms that the defendant did push and was in her face being violent. Based on, he does have a previous 2017 battery arrest. I know that was dismissed, but the state feels that this bond is reasonable and would recommend that to the court.
Thank you. Ms. Hogue?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Reed is 27 years old. He has been in Georgia for 14 years. He has significant family ties here, including Miss Reed, who is his wife. They've been married now officially for a month, though they do share 2 children already that are 2 and 3 years old. His mother and aunts and everybody else lives here. He graduated from Langston Hughes High School. He has a he's working on a tech degree from Ocoee Falls. And he in business and cementing, Your Honor. Given he does have, and he currently works with Walmart doing sanitation work, and he's trying to get yet even a second job through a temp agency because his wife is currently not working. So they're trying to get ahead of bills and get everything paid off. Your Honor, given this and the fact that Miss Reed is on the phone, Miss Sutton, actually, I want to call her Miss Reed. Miss Sutton is actually on the call, Your Honor, so you can't speak with her. She does want contact, Your Honor. She did not call on this incident. They're thinking possibly the store employee or whoever that saw this did call, but she didn't call. So this was not something she was even looking to go forward with at all. And she would like contact, and if you would like to ask her, but I do believe, Your Honor, given the limited history, most of it driving related, a dismissed charge that's 5 years old, that signature bonds across the board would not be unreasonable.
Good afternoon, Ms. Sutton. If you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself and I'll have to swear you in.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Ms. Sutton. What would you like to tell the court?
My husband is not violent. He takes care of our family and his mother. So I would like contact with my husband. I would like the charges dropped and a signature bond for my husband so he can come home and take care of his family.
Okay, you're not afraid of him?
No, sir.
And this has not happened before?
No, sir.
All right. Anything further, Ms. Sutton?
No, sir.
All right. It's going to be for the handicap parking, a $500 signature bond, for the simple battery, a $2,000 signature bond, for the possession, a $500 signature bond. That makes it a $3,000 signature bond. This is going to go through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Tammy Reed Sutton, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Reed. You also, Ms. Sutton.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
My apologies again, Your Honor. What was that bond amount?
All right, that's no problem. It's for the simple battery, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the other two, $500 signature bond through pretrial, making for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Next, we have position number 14, Mr. Scott, position number 14.
Good afternoon, Mr. Scott. I'm Judge Eric Mora. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Scott, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003698J with theft by taking. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
19 total. Last arrest was 2015, suspended license. It was dismissed. 2014 probation violation, 2013 probation. I think it was driving related. 2012 FTA. The last theft I saw was a 2012 shoplifting conviction. Stuff is old. And a theft by taking conviction from 2001.
Okay. Ms. Reiser?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant's bond is currently set at $2,500 surety. The state would actually ask to bump that up to a $5,000 surety, to have no further contact with the victim, Alan Glover, and to stay away from 112 Dogwood Drive. Briefly for the facts, Your Honor, Mr. Glover, the victim, informed police that the defendant had came to his residence to pick up some items that he had left there on a previous visit. Instead of taking the items that he was coming to get, he actually took the victim's 55-inch flat screen TV, Your Honor. In regards to his history, the state's concerned that he is a flight risk. I'm showing 3 FTAs and at least 2 violation of probation. And you did hear he does have a previous theft by shoplifting conviction from 2013 and a 2001 theft by taking and theft by receiving conviction, Your Honor.
Ms. Hogue?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Scott is 44 years old, Your Honor, and I'd like to point out that this particular theft by taking is over 2 years old. Okay, it allegedly happened on 1/18/2020. Mr. Glover is a lifetime resident of Georgia. He has significant family ties here. He has a mother, brother, children. He has 6 children, including one 4-year-old who lives with him right now, and he's the sole caregiver because the mother is now in a coma after 2 strokes. He worked for Sherwood Foods for a number of months before it was taken over, and now he is now searching for work through an agency. He has electrician's journeyman license, a AA degree, as well as he has a barber's license. He went to high school at Riverwood, and he's been here, like I said, all of his life with significant ties. I do believe that this is a mistaken warrant, to be honest with you, Your Honor. He and Mr. Glover are friends. Okay, and so I do believe that this actually probably should have been dismissed some years ago, but somehow is now hung out. As I said, he has limited income right now. And as far as his history goes, Your Honor, we're looking at dates like a 2015 dismissed suspended license, a 2014 and a 2013. We're getting into the 9 and 10-year-old situations of failure to appear that's almost 10 years old. So I do believe that all of this is very, very old, Your Honor. And we're not hearing any violence in here. And as I said, given the fact that this is 2 years old and he and Mr. Glover are friends, I do believe that this is some type of like I said, something that probably should have been dismissed or let go some time ago. So we are in fact asking for a signature bond in this case. Given all that, there's no reason to not believe that he would not show up to court to handle this matter.
Going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Mr. Glover. Stay away from the Dogwood Drive address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Scott.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we have position number 15, Mr. Waddell.
Good afternoon, Mr. Waddell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you. Mr. Waddell, you've been charged in case 22 CR 003699J with speeding, reckless conduct, and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
14 total. Damn, I didn't see that one. History out of Texas, 1 previous arrest. 1 out of Alabama, 2017, stolen property, forgery. As far as the Georgia history, last arrest was October 2021, Douglas County. Felony theft by taking. He's on probation for that. He's on probation in Coweta as well for theft by deception. That's a felony. 2020 probation violation. 2018 failure to appear. 2009 deposit account for our conviction. So he went to felony as well earlier, and they gave him 40,000 good for that charge or charges.
Thank you. Ms. Reiser?
Yes, Judge. The state's recommendation as to the speeding count will be a $500 surety. As to the reckless conduct count, it's currently set at $1,000 surety. The state would ask that to be bumped up to a $5,000 surety. On the obstruction charge, we would ask that it be set, or I think it is set at a $1,000 surety. So the state would be recommending a total of $6,500 surety. Excuse me, Your Honor. The defendant was pulled over for speeding. I believe he was going 81 in a 55. He then ran on foot from Officer Terribly of APD. And while he was running on foot, he actually ran across the interstate highway, across multiple lanes of traffic while there was cars driving on the highway, Your Honor. Based on his history, we do believe he has a flight risk, considering he does have an FTA, violation of probation, and it's a multi-state offender as well, Judge. He was just on felony appearance, and I think those charges were VGCSA and fleeing and eluding and obstruction and reckless driving as well.
Thank you, Ms. Reiser. Ms. Howard?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Waddell is 33 years old. He currently, he has just been recently released. He does have a business degree from Kennesaw, as well as he graduated from high school at Union Grove High School, Your Honor. He does have family here. He does have family ties. And given that he has links here for reporting to probation and things like that, Your Honor, I do not believe that he is a flight risk. If you take a look at the dates on this, Your Honor, this is from 8/20/2019. These are almost 3 years old. And speaking with him, Your Honor, we do believe that he's going to prevail on these charges, because this was in fact a car that was registered to his company. He was not driving it at the time. And as you can see, the person was not apprehended at the time. So we do believe that these charges will ultimately be dismissed, because as we said, he wasn't even aware of them out there at that time, Your Honor, because like I said, it was an employee of his who was driving a company car that did this. So we do believe, given that, and given the fact that he has a significant felony bond, and these are 3 years old, Your Honor, that, you know, anything from a signature bond to the lowest possible $500 good bonds is more than sufficient at this point in time.
The client has his hand up, Ms. Hogue.
Yes, Mr. Waddell, I would not recommend you speak at all. You're on at all. It's not to your advantage, okay?
I wanted to say is I don't have a fleeing and eluding charge. I have no fleeing and eluding charges ever. I've never ran from any law enforcement ever. And I'm currently on parole. I mean, I paroled out of prison. I've been incarcerated for over 3 years, 2.5 years now. I'm not a flight risk. I have significant felony bonds from earlier that are already going to make it difficult for me to even bond out.
Yeah, Your Honor, like I said, he is trying to start his life. And like I said, we are looking at 3-year-old charges.
All right, it's going to be a $500 good bond for each charge, which makes it a $1,500 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Waddell.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, can we revisit position number 5? He wants to ask you a question, and then we can go. Mr. Funches, you got to see.
What happened to Sabala?
Oh, Sabala, she waived her appearance.
Yes, Your Honor, she waived her appearance and has agreed to let me argue her bond for her.
Okay, who represented Mr. Funch's position number 5?
Did y'all say Funches?
Yes, position 5.
Let me get that. I've got that.
Okay, I
Let's
just
see.
want to advise him, Mr. Funches, you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say can and will be used against you. Mr. McLean, he has a question. If you want to find out what that question is, I'm happy.
If the sheriff would put him on a phone to extension 25215, that's my desk phone, or they could call my cell. They know it. Either way, I'd be glad to answer any questions you got.
All right, so while you do that, courtroom 2, I'm going to go on to position number 13, and you filed a written waiver. Is that right, Ms. Hogue?
Yes, I
She
did,
did.
Your Honor.
Okay.
I
thank you.
received it.
All right, great. Are you with us, Ms. Reiser?
Yes, Judge, I'm here.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
And is this Ms. Sabala?
Yes, position 13.
Yes, Judge. The state would recommend a $2,500 surety bond to have no further contact with, I'm going to spell it because I don't know how to pronounce it, MAIRENL, last name SAVAIA, and stay away from the incident location of 1465 Mid Broadwell Road, apartment 1102, and have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, Your Honor. I'm showing this is her first arrest. Just very generally, the defendant broke a glass door of the residence. The victim is her sister, and I believe they both reside there.
Has anyone spoken to the sister?
My notes indicate that we have not made any contact with the sister yet, Judge. So that's why since we haven't spoke with her, the no further contact would be recommended at this time.
Ms. Hogue?
Yeah, Your Honor, Miss Sabala is 37 years old. This is her first arrest. She's working on her GSU on her social worker degree. She's 37 credits shy, and really, I do believe she is obviously, material for a signature bond. As far as the no contact goes, she doesn't have a problem with it because they were moving out. She and her son were living there. They were moving out when the sister was giving her a problem about moving out. That's how things sort of erupted, Your Honor. So all she would want at this point in time is she is planning on moving out as a one-time, go in, get the rest of her things and be able to move out and leave the residence. So a no contact and the stay away is not an issue at this time, Your Honor. We do believe that a signature bond is more than appropriate given her lack of criminal history and her significant ties here.
All right, $1,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the Mid Broadwell Road address. You can go back there on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that she might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
And Judge, just a quick question. Did Ms. Bridgewater say she received a written waiver of appearance?
I did.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, Judge. Thank you.
Okay.
So that was a $1,000 signature bond for Miss Sabella?
Yes, $1,000 through the jail.
Okay, I'll let her know. I have to go up to medical and let her know.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And we're done in courtroom 2?
I'm trying to wait for Mr. McLean to get off the phone with Funches.
Oh, he's still on the phone? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So just let us know.
All right. I'm giving you 30 seconds, Your Honor.
Okay,
30 seconds.
thank you.
Your Honor. I just wanted to ask, I don't know if anyone knows, but we had a Jalen Copeland that was on our list earlier. Did he bond out?
Mr. Copeland bonded out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge?
I would say we'll go over the calendar, but I want to make sure Mr. McLean is with us since half the cases were his cases today. So let's give him a moment to get off the phone and then we'll go over the calendar. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, are we good, Mr. McLean?
Let's see if I can get my volume back here. I believe I answered his question.
Okay. All right, so I think we're done. If that's the case, we're done in court. He still has his hand up, Mr. McLean.
Yeah, I still have to ask, because, like, I have really nobody to sign off on my bond, because I'm the only one here in Georgia, and it's sad to say that, but I am, and I got the surety bond that I have now. Nobody will be able to pay it for me because I have nobody, but I have myself and I have my job. So if it's possible, could I please get a signature bond? I am not a flight risk. I'm a resident of Georgia, and I will pay. I promise you, I will pay this fine, or whatever it may be. If it's a $500, 500, I don't care if it's more, I will pay it. But I have nobody to sign me out. I only have myself, Your Honor. And that's it.
I understand, Mr. Funches. I've already heard your case on this matter. If you are not able to make bond, I'm going to hear you back, and I will see you myself. So I'll see you back in my courtroom in the next couple of weeks if you're not able to make bond, and we'll discuss it at that time.
Okay, and one more.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
I only have one more thing, if that's all right.
Okay, again, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that thing was reason why I was asking for the signature bond now, because my job is waiting on me. In 2 weeks, I might don't have my job, man. You know, and that's the killing part about it.
I understand, sir. And again, I wish you the best of luck. And if you're not able to get out, I'll see you back.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thanks. We appreciate it.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, sir.
I'll try. You too.
All right, everyone.
See you next week.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
We appreciate
Nice
it.
having you on Saturdays, Judge Morrow.
Yes, thank you.
Don't get used to it.
I know, thank you.
All right. We're ready when you are, Ms. Bridgewater.
Yes. Again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be June the 23rd. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position number 2 is going to the SAP calendar with a $5,000 total good bond. Position 3, reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 4 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 total good bond. Position 5 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 6 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 7 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 8, reset further notice with a $4,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 9 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $3,500 total split bond. Position 10 is reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 11 is reset further notice with a $3,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 12, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 13 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 14 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. And position number 15 is reset to the SAP calendar with a total $1,500 good bond. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
I have one for number 9. I believe that was a split bond, $2,000 good with good bond and $1,500 signature bond through the jail.
That is correct.
Okay.
Do you know what bond amounts are on each charge?
Yes, on the first charge would be $500 signature bond through the jail. On the fleeing and eluding, the second charge is a $1,000 good bond. On the third, a failure to obey a traffic signal is a $500 signature bond through the jail. On the fourth charge, improper turn, that's a $500 signature bond through the jail. And on the fifth, reckless driving, that's a $1,000 good bond.
You're absolutely correct. If nothing else, Judge?
All right.
Judge, I'm about to send you this waiver.
Okay, I'll send it right back to you when I get it, and you all enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you,
Yes.
Judge.
Thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, see everybody.